Hi dear friends and students, welcome to this Geo Entire YouTube channel that is all about the earth. So today this is again time to share one more lesson with you. In this lesson we are going to discuss an important topic which is related to the quaternary stratigraphy, that is biostratigraphy. And this biostratigraphy is depend on different factors, and these factors we are also going to discuss in more detail particular in this lesson. So these biostratigraphies depend on the 5 factors. So first factor, that is microforaminiferal biostratigraphy. Second one, that is the nanoplanktonic stratigraphy. Third factor on which these biostratigraphies depend, that is the diatomic biostratigraphy. Fourth aspect, that is the radiolarian biostratigraphy. Last aspect, that is the faunal abundance. On the basis of these 5 aspects, these biostratigraphies depend. So let's start the lesson.
So what is biostratigraphy? So biostratigraphy is nothing but the rock sequence which are divided into smaller units on the basis of their biotic content. So biostratigraphic units are called as biozones. So it is often or simply it is called as zones also, and are based on the range of fossils, that is called as the range zones. If they are on the basis of association of fossils, called as assemblage zone. If sometimes sudden increase in the abundance of certain index species, so that is called a acme zone or abundance zone. In geological timescale or in stratigraphy, the species which have short stratigraphic range are of great value in relating to the zones with time. The planktonic, foraminifera, nanoplanktons, radiolarians, diatoms. So these species provide a very good basis for dividing the sediments into the biozones. The species that have wide geographical distribution and appear or disappear in the geological records, it is called as datum. So that is nothing but the datum. So the datum plane, when it is characterized by the last evolutionary appearance of a species called last appearance datum, that is called a LAD. And sometimes the appearance of the species first time, it is called a FAD, first appearance datum. The datum species come from both animal as well as plant kingdom. So this is nothing but the what we can say that biostratigraphy. How biostratigraphy is developed? So development of biostratigraphy on the basis of studies of discontinuous land-based sections, with the discovery of more and more complete and continuous sequence from the deep sea coring in Indian Oceans. So that is the low latitude. Atlantic and Pacific Oceans are high as well as low latitudes. Mediterranean Sea, it is called a deep sea drilling projects, that is the DSDP. ODP is nothing but the ocean drilling program by US National Science Foundation and 22 other national partners. So that is the US National Science Foundation called a ODP program, that is the ocean drilling program. And biostratigraphic zones were refined, new key species were identified from the stratigraphic intervals. So in this way the development of biostratigraphy is taken place. Now establishment of biostratigraphy on the basis of different kingdom, plant as well as animal kingdom. So out of which there are 5 which are very, very important. So one is the microforaminifera, second is nanoplankton, diatom, radiolarians, and last one is the faunal abundance. Now we will see in detail what is microforaminiferal biostratigraphy. When we see the microforaminiferal biostratigraphy, it is most useful in establishing the biostratigraphy on the basis of their evolution, particularly in cenozoic era. So foraminifera zonations have both temperature and high latitudes regions are fully established for deep sea sediments. So the standard planktonic foraminifera zones are given numbers with prefix P, and n number, that is the here n22, n90, n21. So these are based on the numbers, that is the neogene biozones numbers, including quaternary period also. So n1 to n23, it is given to the neogene biozones. Quaternary biozones are n22, that is n22 and n23. So these are the quaternary biozones. So in this way, the microforaminiferal biostratigraphy having low latitude having different species, high latitude having different species, and in this way this microforaminiferal biostratigraphy is developed. So on the other hand, the abundance of certain important deep sea benthic foraminiferal assemblage are delineated in details in Cenozoic sediments in a different Neogene quaternary period. So that's why this is very, very important. Then next stratigraphy, that is the nanoplanktonic stratigraphy. Nanoplanktons are microscopic calcite skeletal elements produced by the unicellular marine phytoplanktons and that thrive in tropical and subtropical conditions. So they are very useful microfossils for biozonation and correlation of marine sediments. Cenozoic is subdivided into 46 nanoplankton zones, out of which 25 are Paleogene and 18 of Neogene and 3 of Quaternary. So this is regarding the nanoplankton biostratigraphy. So third important aspect, that is the biostratigraphy, which is based on the diatom biostratigraphy. So what are the diatoms? So diatoms are the photosynthetic single-celled algae and with cell walls of amorphous silica. So that is the called as diatoms. They are found in fresh water as well as in the marine environments, and they having different species. That is the marine ones are both planktonic and benthic. They along with nanoplanktons, especially what we can say that cocolithophorids, the major part of the phytoplanktons of the sea. There are different species along which, for example, one of the biostratigraphically useful species, that is the Rhizoselenia prabigoni, has a very short range and it makes its first appearance in the late Pliocene period. Just after Pleistocene transition, another species is developed, that is the Pseudomutia dolius, makes its appearance at the base of Quaternary and used for defining the zone. So these species together, oldest diatom called as subzone A and younger diatom called as subzone B. So near Kochi in India, one of the example, so that is nothing but the, what we can say that, so Indian example, that is the marine fossil of diatoms are known for the Miocene-Pliocene sediments, which is near Naret coast near Kochi. So this is the one example which is near to the Thiruvananthapuram in state of Kerala. So about 150 fossil species of diatoms are reported from the particular place, and it is known for the geological sections. So this is regarding the Naret coast near Kochi. Then fourth, that is the radiolarian biostratigraphy. So what are radiolarians? Radiolarians are important marine protozoan planktons that are composed of exclusively of amorphous silica. Amorphous silica, that is the alkaline silica. So radiolarians occurs in cherts and sometimes associated with ophiolites. So that is the occurrence of radiolarians. and they are abundant in the deep sea sediments in high latitude areas of North Pacific and around Antarctica. So, as well as in the equatorial regions of the world. So, there are 39 radiolarian zones have been recognized for the lower Paleocene and the Holocene period. Code numbers for the radiolarian zones for the Pacific, Indian and Atlantic Oceans are RP1 to RP22 for the Paleocene, RN1, RN17 for the Neogene. So this is regarding the radiolarian zones. Then next, that is the last part. So establishment of the biostratigraphy on the basis of faunal abundance stratigraphies. So beside the biodatum, the faunal abundance stratigraphy is also widely used to date the pelagic sediments where the carbon 14, carbon 14 dating is not possible due to the lack of CaCO3. It is dissolved below the carbonate compensation depth. What is carbonate compensation depth? That is a CCD. So CCD is nothing but it is depth below which calcite does not accumulate on the sea floor, because below this level carbonate supply rate is less than dissolution rate. Depth of CCD varies from 3 to 6 km. In general, it is shallower in polar regions, that is the higher latitudes, and deeper in the tropics, that is the low latitudes. It has also varied significantly on the geological time scale.
So friends, in this video we have discussed what is biostratigraphy, and this biostratigraphy is depend on the different factors, particularly microforamiferal biostratigraphy, then nanoplanktonic biostratigraphy, then diatomic biostratigraphy, then radiolarian biostratigraphy, and last, that is the faunal abundance. On these 5 factors biostratigraphies depend, we have discussed thoroughly. If you like my video, share and subscribe my YouTube channel, that is GeoEntire, all about the earth. Thank you.